Hi, hello. Welcome to the video. I just want to start this with a small heads up. Nothing here is to be taken seriously and all my footage is from the network test. That means that nothing shown here might be final, some things might change, some things might not. I just wanted to do this for fun, for the sake of doing something. I wanted to share with everyone how I felt playing this game, and for all I know, I could convince someone that did not enjoy the game to give it another chance. Maybe, hopefully. CrossWorlds is the fourth entry in the kart racing spin-off series. What makes this entry unique is, well, the CrossWorlds aspect. At the end of every first lap, you're able to choose a track to cross into, while at the end of the second, you're brought back to where you started. If you're paying attention to the footage, you may notice that on the third lap, the tracks have some minor changes depending on which one it is. Some of them have a lot of changes, like the Wonder Museum. Everything comes to life, and I think that's actually really cool. Each character has their own set of stats, but not only that, the vehicle also affects your stats. But wait, there's more. There's also vehicle customization. You can mismatch parts to however you like, which also ends up affecting the stats. In a more minor way, it's just a few points, but still. Also, we're going back to the transform route where we have both a plane and a boat. Except this time they're not really the main focus, they just take a backseat, small sections on tracks, and nothing more than that. That said, how's the handling, right? The important part, of course. Well, on land, honestly, my experience has been very positive. Obviously, it depends on what character and what vehicle you're using. I mostly use, for example, Amy on a speed car, or Shadow on a stream gear, and lastly, Joker on a stream gear. And the handling has been phenomenal. That is just land handling though. What about the boat and the plane? Well, on one side, the boat is pretty offensive. We did not have any technical tracks where it really matters, but it seems to handle fine. I don't see anything that affects the handling either, like the stats. Okay, and then what about plane? I did not have a good time with the plane, honestly. It did not handle very well for me, but then again, I am playing on keyboard, so it's not the same as playing on a controller. Either way, they felt kind of stiff, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I know somebody might point it out, but I did not forget, I was just leaving it for later. If you look at the bottom left corner during gameplay, you may have noticed a few icons. Those are the gadgets. They're basically modifiers and they range from, hey, that's simple to, wow, what is this? So simple would be something like, oh, you get faster air tricks, neat. And on the other end, you get something like, oh, when you're drifting, you have an extra boost level, and when you get to that boost level, when you let it go, you get a shield, which is insane to me. And I just mentioned two of them. There are a lot of gadgets, and there's stuff like, oh, you recover faster after being hit, or you get plus 20 to all your stats on the last lap. And I gotta also add, I don't know how this is gonna be handled when the game is actually out, but for the network test, you had to race to unlock more gadget slots until you had them all. So at first you're not really gonna worry about it, honestly. That aside, I feel like I've been talking about too much, too positive. So let's talk about something that I honestly did not like very much, and those are the items. The godforsaken items. They tend to be very normal. Like just a boost, or a triple boost, or a shield. And then there's the ones that basically hurt me in real life, which is something like the slicer, a homing projectile that takes a bit before it actually hurts you, but when it does, it cuts you in half. You lose your item. You basically slow down entirely until your vehicle regenerates. Point is, my homies hate the slicer, and so do I. And what else do I hate? An item called the slime or the goo, whatever. Basically, it hits everyone, including the ones behind you. I don't know why. The effects are not as annoying when you're like on a bad placement, but you still get your view obscured, and also you drop your items, so that's cool. I think when you're playing a controller, you have to rotate the stick to get the thing off you. I think I could be wrong about this. With all these offensive items, are there defensive items? Well, yeah, there's a shield, there's the Violet Wisp, which I call a Void Wisp. It sucks everything up. The shield protects you from any incoming attack. And then there's the Tornado, which I hate, I despise with my entire life. Why do I hate the Tornado so much? Well, number one, it's a shield. It doesn't protect you from everything in the game, but it's still a shield. So it protects you from projectiles, for example, or something like the goo. So what's the issue? Well, it's also an attack item, because it has a hitbox, the size of my house. Not only is the hitbox humongous, it doesn't match the effect of the Tornado, it's a lot bigger, and when you get hit, you slow down completely. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're gonna slow down, whether you like it or not. I have to add that the items also respawn almost immediately. This means that so long as you're not hugging an opponent and they grab it first, or if you don't miss it, you're guaranteed to have an item at all times, which makes the game pretty chaotic. Considering the fact that this was just a network test, you didn't have many single player options, it was just time trial, which as the name implies is time trial or Grand Prix, on the same 3 tracks for both modes. And honestly, Grand Prix was kinda cute because you get to see characters interact with each other, because you will get a rival at the beginning. It's safe to say I did not spend much time on either of these game modes because it was a time limited network test. I would rather play online, but I will admit that I looked up the interactions between characters that you get in Grand Prix, and they're actually pretty cute. I like them. I honestly really do like them. I did mention that this is a network test, so the important part is, how was the online? And my answer is kind of a mixed bag. It was good, but it was also a network test, so there were a lot of people disconnecting, me and my friends included. It was kind of annoying. Sometimes it would happen way too much. That obvious problem aside, what about in-game, the important part? And it's still bad. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes you will hit an opponent and it will not register. It will show that you hit them because they're flashing red, but they did not get hit. Lastly, presentation. Being the UI in race is very minimalistic. I'm not surprised. Honestly, it's fine the way it is. I wouldn't change it myself. As for the menus, I like the main menu a lot. I like that you can see your character and your vehicle of choosing. If you invite your friends, they also appear around. It's pretty cute. It's a lot better than just having plain text, Something I learned that changed between the closed beta test and the open network test is the gadget screen. Before, everything was in plain view. You wouldn't even have to scroll around to find what you wanted, compared to what it is now, which is kind of a mess. So I hope they revert that change and we go back to what it used to be. Menus and interface aside, the game is pretty solid looking. Some areas are absolutely better looking than others, but you wouldn't see me call any of this ugly. There's always something going on for it to be dull, and I honestly think that helps. I don't think it needs to be overly flashy for it to be eye-catching. Let's not forget characters and vehicles. They look great, and maybe it's just me, but I think when they're using an extreme gear they look bigger. And maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm just going crazy. I'm not forgetting to talk about the soundtrack, of course I'm not. Let's talk about the music, because oh my god, the music. I was very worried about the music because it is something extremely important to me. The music can just make or break the game for me, but they shattered my expectations, honestly. In the end, despite everything, like the items destroying me and the disconnecting, I had a lot of fun with the game. I was smiling like a fool through the entire thing. Seriously though, me and my friends, we were laughing, screaming, getting upset, being happy, just having a good time, and to me, that's all that matters. That's all I could ask for.
I fell off. God damn it, that was a lot of speed.
Welcome to the club.
Oh, I almost fell off again.
Oh my god! Okay, I got the item boss. Oh, custom shotgun.
What is Cassie happening? Oh my god!
Seventh.
Oh god, oh no. The feds got me. Oh no.
What?
Oh no, they're here again. There's three of them. There's three of them again.
Give me my...
Bro, help. 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 Do I recommend the game? Yeah, I do. But I will definitely admit that I'm not too sure about the price tag. Maybe when the game is actually out and there's more content to offer, but as it is, it's a bit too much. Maybe if the game was 50 bucks, people would have been more willing to give it a chance, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not getting it myself on day one because I live in a third world country and the price tag is a little bit too much. However, I'm not gonna let the price change the way I feel about the game. I still loved it, I still had a great time, especially thanks to my friends, so it is what it is, right? All that aside, if you already bought the game or are choosing to do so, I hope you have a lot of fun.